The new college year hasn't even started, and there hasn't even been a whole pile of talk about it just yet. But already they're short of accommodation at ATU Donegal, and they're putting an appeal out to anyone with spare accommodation in Letterkenny or the surrounding areas to come forward and to help out, because the students, well, a lot of students are already looking for places to stay if they've chosen ATU as their college. And the Vice President for Welfare and Equality at ATU Donegal is Nasia McGinn, and Nasia joins us now in the studio. So it's only the middle of July, and already you're short of accommodation. Not the first time we've heard this, mind you. It's a common problem, but it's getting worse instead of better.
Yeah, I mean, there is a housing crisis going on as well. We have to be aware of what's going on in the country. So, yeah, it does get worse, but this is where we rely on our people, rely on the community, and hope that they, give back to us. Yeah.
And there is a community here that, comes together, and, especially in Letterkenny, we think it's a big town now, and is there really a sense of community? But there is, and, in Donegal in general. And then when you put out an appeal like this for accommodation, it does. Some people do think and go, well, actually, maybe I can help there, especially when it comes to digs.
Yeah.
And digs are kind of something that we associate with years gone by, but they're still very relevant now, and maybe even more important now that there's a housing crisis for students.
Well, it's still very relevant. Like myself, I just got into this position while I'm going on my third week now. So I'm very new, but I've managed to, make my way around. And even when I've been going through the old accommodation list, because our old welfare and equality officer, Anya Hatzer, who was fantastic, by the way, she had that list sorted, and there were digs there. And what I love is that my job for the first few days was to call up landlords and ask them, oh, is this room still available? And if they say yes, then obviously I leave it on. If they say no, then I put them on a non-active list. And what I love to hear was that the people in Donegal in specific, I think you guys have a sense of community that's other counties might be lacking. I find that quite beautiful, because some of the landlords are like, oh, I take in students every year and I cook for them and I clean their rooms. They're like, oh, you don't have to do that, but that's genuinely so nice. Like, or you have some others that are so willing to rent out rooms, or so willing to be like, oh yeah, I have a spare cabin, or I have a spare this, or my daughter just moved out for she moved to Australia, so I don't mind renting, this room out. Like, they're not out to exploit you. They actually want to help, and you can hear it in their tone and the way they're so persistent in wanting to actually put something forward. So it actually touched my heart a bit. So yeah, that's even why I'm here today. And
great.
All that
well,
stuff.
They're the good stories. What about the other stories then? Where do you find that accommodation is going? Are you getting some stories back about, I sold the property or rented it to somebody else, or now turned it into an Airbnb? What's the theme?
I suppose there's always going to be a flip side to positivity. There is negativity. I've even been through that myself, where you randomly just get evicted for no reason, or I've sold the property and they only tell you a few weeks beforehand, what can you do? And you try to avail of your rights, because I have a background in law, and I'm just there absolutely not. And it's one of those things where we can always combat bad with good, because I'm seeing more good than I am seeing bad nowadays, which is great, because I was always on the negative side of it, but then I got to the positive sides of it. I think it's a matter of really that's my job again, to reach out to people and to actually ask if you have something, why not you just give it over and help us in this way.
And it's not just in Letterkenny, because the net is wide. You're putting the call out to places like Lifford and Newton.
Yeah, it's not just Letterkenny. It's Lifford, Convoy, Rafo, Newton, any Newton, Cunningham, surrounding places, Ramelton. Yeah, literally. So it's not just stationed here. People who have rooms or spare whatever it is, apartments available in those surrounding areas, do not be afraid to reach out. My email, sewelfare.donegal@atu.ie, or my telephone is 074-918-6826. Do not be afraid to reach out. I don't care where you are.
You must remember, the students come to ATU Donegal from different counties and from different countries, and they don't necessarily have to be in Letterkenny, because all those towns now are served and served fairly well by bus routes. So access to Letterkenny is a lot. It's going to be a lot easier to get from, say Kilmacrennan than it is if you have to travel from, I don't know, from Sligo or Mayo or wherever it is.
Yeah. One thing that I can commend Donegal on is that I remember like when I was a student, I went back home to Les to visit my old secondary school. And one of the teachers made a joke and she was like, "How's the transport doing up there?" And at the time I was like, "It's not doing well, miss." But now I'm actually seeing improvements, like the likes of that Remelton bus. Like I remember one time I was walking home from work and I saw it running at 10 p.m. and the shock. I was just there like, this wasn't here 3 years ago. You know what I mean? So like obviously it's baby steps. I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm not saying that it's exceptional. But there are improvements being put in place. And I think it's more easier and I can do it with good conscience to give somebody accommodation in Remelton knowing that like you can actually get home at 10 and be okay. You can get home at certain times and be okay rather than before where there's just no way home.
Okay, so it's doable now. Years ago, it wasn't an option, and now it is. And it's a mix of accommodation, isn't it? It's, we chatted there about digs, but it's not just rooms, it's whole houses, it's apartments, it's whatever can be offered.
It's whatever can be offered. Even like I will not forget our lovely Killybegs campus as well. There's people in it there that are willing to give rooms, and usually they'd be more house shares or digs. They wouldn't really be like apartments. Like they'll have a few, but it's very few. But even for those students as well, because we have culinary arts students and tourism students that are looking to come up here, and it's a blessing to have people want to come to Donegal. Because I remember once upon a time it was referred to as like the forgotten county. So I remember I put Donegal down in my CAO, and sure the other students were like, "Where's that?" And I was like, "Oh, well,
I'm going to find out."
But now it's like it's becoming more recognized ever since ATU became a university, and it's really good. Like they're extending their library now. They're doing great things for the students, and it's only going to go up from here.
And it's much more of a destination, and numbers are going up, so therefore the accommodation is needed.
Yes.
All right, then a reminder again of those contact details. Your contact details?
So my email is suwelfare.donegal@atu.ie, and then my telephone number is 074 918 6826. So please do not hesitate to reach out. Also, if you're a landlord and are wishing to register, sign up for that you have a room to rent or whatever it is, our website has been updated. So when you go onto ATU Donegal, you're going to have our pictures, but there's also a button for landlords to click to register a room. So once they fill it out, it comes back to my email, and then I just, place it on an Excel sheet, update it on the website so that the students can see. So it's making it more accessible for landlords as well via online, not just us handing out leaflets and hoping that somebody calls, So if you want to do it online as well, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, so you can go through the ATU website for that. All right, then. Well, the best luck with the search, and hope it works out. And heading into a busy time, August and September are always busy around ATU. So the best luck with that accommodation search. Thanks, Nasia.
Thank you so much for having me.